If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again, and if it's the first time that you're coming across my content, I will kindly request that you hit the like, subscribe and the share button, as this will go a long way in supporting my channel. Well, in today's episode I'll be talking about the rising cases of corruption in Jamaica. As we all know, corruption has been a very rampant case that has marred Jamaica for quite some time now, and according to the recent world rankings, according to the International Corruption Perspective Index, Jamaica scores 44 out of the possible 180, showing that the cases of corruption are quite high in the country, with 0 being the worst, and any country that ranks below 50 also showing that corruption is a major issue in the country. Kindly watch the rest of this episode where I'll come with my commentaries at the end of it.
When the JLP is in opposition, they want to do everything to stamp out corruption. When the PNP is in opposition, they want to do everything to stamp out corruption. This JLP administration, they were the ones that pushed through the Integrity Commission Act and made it become a reality. And it seemed like for the first time, Jamaica was really serious about holding our parliamentarians accountable. Wrong. When the Integrity Commission bill was passed, Prime Minister Andrew Holness hailed it as a win for Jamaica and said it would serve as a measure of accountability for parliamentarians and public officials. So how did we go from this to this? In fact, it didn't take long for the same administration that ushered in the Integrity Commission to then turn around and call the agency a rogue organization. So it seems like this JLP administration only wanted to give the impression that they were going to address corruption. They didn't actually want an Integrity Commission that held them accountable.
I'm calling on Prime Minister Andrew Holness to resign now.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness must resign now. The Prime Minister is involved in money laundering and tax evasion. And as a Prime Minister, Jamaica, the Prime Minister must uphold himself to the highest standard. This is not a smear campaign against the Prime Minister. This is the facts of the truth. That the Prime Minister is involved in money laundering and tax evasion. And as a Prime Minister, you have to set the highest example. So Jamaicans, all well-thinking Jamaicans, the Prime Minister must resign now. The Prime Minister must step down now, or step aside until the investigation is over. If the Prime Minister not setting the example and the international community is watching, it's a disgrace. Want to prove me right now. Remember me, I'm telling you this from 2020, that the Prime Minister is involved in money laundering, tax evasion. It's not a bad mind thing. But the Prime Minister must let the people know where him get all these millions from. Jamaica, your Prime Minister is a billionaire. And all on the local labor rights, Curry go back supporter, come for me now. Because if you can't see the Prime Minister is involved in wrongdoings and should never be leading the country. Huh? On a serious level, Jamaica, this is who no want to lead. A corrupt government, a corrupt Prime Minister. This is what Cliff Hughes should be speaking about. But Cliff Hughes try to use the Vice Cartel went on PNP stage to distract you. But we're not idiots and we're not fool. Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness must resign now. He must step down. In the name of decency and integrity, Prime Minister Andrew Holness must step aside and do it now for the interest of Jamaica. The international community is looking and them seeing it. Them seeing the corruption that the Prime Minister is involved in. And any well-thinking Jamaicans that have any decency and integrity and morals, they would call for the Prime Minister to resign.
When you see police, you have to go start take out on the camera. You must when you see them start record. If you can go live too. But do not make the phone the dead pound, because if it dead pound, you get fuck. I mean, even if it dead act like on a record, same way. They act like on a record, act like on a live. Man, them police are gunman in a government uniform. You can't believe, say, after a magazine incident, when police are go come on news and say I did AI. No put in place to keep we residents safe still. I ain't idea if them fi mask up and take off them badge number, camera and save we. The simplest solution against them police and corruption is body cam, but them nah do it. Cause too much illegal shit.
Citizens of Jamaica, I want to come out this time. I'm gonna care who I'm vex and no one can beat me. What country I get sell off little by little, and some I wanna feel like say I just everything on the need for defend. I'm not say you can't vote for who you want, vote for whoever you want, but as a citizen that's voting, you have a duty to criticize the government when they are messing up. The Jamaican Labour Party, I start move like MAGA up here, because blind loyalty to a politician is not patriotism. It's fucking dangerous. Since Hurricane Melissa, Mr. Holness himself admitted that flying around on the airplanes cost $1 million per day, and he flew around on said airplanes to assess the damages to the areas, right? But somehow, most of the communities that you flew over have still not yet received aid. Edmund Bartley, you have one constituency in a St. James that has not yet seen you. There's an autistic child over there right now that has been homeless since the hurricane. 400 generators were donated, and we were told that some of them were going to be lent out to shop owners within certain communities so they could be a central area for the government to be able to check in on the progress and allow people to come charge their devices, whatever, get the place up and running. Couple weeks later, the story changed. Now the donated generators are only for government institutions, hospital, police stations, schools, churches, etc. Alright, cool. You admitted in Parliament the other day that you don't know how much money has been donated and you guys have not yet spent any of the money that's been donated. But no, all of a sudden you want to use taxpayer money, which you said out of your own mouth, to buy generators to lend out. Meanwhile, there's money that's been donated that has not been spent. You guys are telling me that's not fucking chaos? Now let's talk about the G20 summit. Mr. Andrew Holness go on the world stage, go tell everybody how we're desperate and we needy and we're poor and we're broke. And then the same Prime Minister came on TV to tell us not to video when we're donating because we need to preserve our dignity. What dignity when you just tell the whole world so we're mash up and we need help? That doesn't seem like an attempt to preserve dignity. That seems like an attempt to control the narrative. And now the bigger picture. Chinese companies own all our roads. Most of the beachfront properties are bought up by American investors and they're still being sold. Mining sectors, foreign interests. Tech systems, foreign platforms. And now our elections too. What do we actually fucking own? This was signed back in 2022, but it's going into effect this year, or next year for the next election, because, voter registration and IDs and all that stuff are going to be gathered within the next couple of years for the next election. And Israel is in control of that. A foreign company now owns the system that is going to decide who is eligible to vote in Jamaica. What the Israeli government is doing to Palestine right now is absolute fucking destruction. And it's going to set the precedent for what they do elsewhere. We don't own our tech. We don't own our infrastructure. Our voting system has been bought out. What do we own? What is ours? There's no sovereignty anymore. Stop worshipping party and start defending Jamaica. You guys need to open your fucking eyes and ask questions. Blind loyalty, a fuckery.
So to the Jamaican people, man, help me understand. So Andrew Holness and his team said that they spent $225 million on food and care packages for the people. Help me understand this. Where the hell they sending them food go? Are they sending the food to a different country? Because ain't nobody received none of that. What? And then there's people right now that actually believe that because they put that on the government website. So people believe that. Man, if you ask me, Jamaican people are getting weak. The Jamaican people are getting weak. They're getting weak. You know what I'm saying? How the heck do you guys have this guy still in position? That don't make no sense to me. You guys are getting weak. You guys are getting weak. How is he still in this position? This man came out, or have his team came out and said, hey, we spent $225 million on food and care packages for the people. Who is receiving all that? It must be a different country, because Jamaica ain't received a dime off that. This is crazy right now. Man, that country is going down the drain. That country is going down the drain. That country is turning into a dirt. Jamaican people, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up.
That the people can have trust and confidence in that can rescue Jamaica from the corruption and the mire of bad governance in which Jamaica is now enmeshed. Only the People's National Party can do that under my leadership, and I plan to deliver that for the people of Jamaica so we can move forward and address the very real issues that our people are facing. Issues of the cost of living and the struggle for survival. The poor nutrition represented by the food insecurity of 55% of our people. The school system failing our students. Where over 30% of our students leave primary school illiterate. Unable to do basic arithmetic. And the housing.
Are gathered here today for a worthy cause. I want to say up front that we come in peace. We are an orderly party.
Mr. Vegas, much of video a while ago where you discredit the debate and I set up the Prime Minister, and Dan Jackson Miller have a personal agenda and a target the Prime Minister. But I'm going to say something to you. The Prime Minister is there to serve the country and not himself. And if situation arises where we, the people, need answers, and somebody ask him the question that we need to know, how is it an attack? All he needs to do is explain himself to we, the people, because he must serve we. So hear me and say to you now, Vegas. Andrew Holness is here to serve the country, and everything we do is supposed to be for the benefit of the country and the people who live within the country. Him not do it for himself and his family, but at that him do. He might make things better for himself and his family and his friend them. Because there's no way you can have a country and so much billions and millions of money is unaccountable for, and you cannot give an answer, and you're the leader for the country. All I want to come at about say, yo, look how much things the man do for the country. Want to vote in Andrew Holness for? Not for run the country. So everything where I do, him supposed to do it. Him not supposed to get an applaud for it. I'm working I do. The same way if somebody book Nico for your dance and pay me 100,000 and say Nico for your, we need it for the 25th of September. Me supposed to go there and deliver and make sure the patrons enjoy themselves. So if we the Jamaican people vote in him as the Prime Minister, him supposed to deliver. So I don't want nobody come tell me, say, look how much things him do. Everything him do, him supposed to do it because he's appointed to do what he's elected to do. So if you have a prime minister where I rub up a country, we don't have to question him about it. May I go on a perfect example. Spanish Town I live, and you have a Greendale police station where I built about 3 years now, where them say a $75 million and all, no, we can't done. But still, me live to see Sagicor building built on Brunswick, big elevator building with 5-6 times bigger than the police station there, done within less than a year. We have the Island Grill pan it, we have stores pan it, we have housing complex pan it. Me come see up at Angels, the Burger King and the Popeyes done within 4 months. Big complex. Me come live to see right at Insom right now, a house, a schema bill. Apartment complex a bill, big complex. And it just 3 months, it basically done already. So what take them for done that? And that is just one out of the many projects the government them were angle and it can't done. But still the money them always a increase. Virgin, let me tell you something, man. He's a musician. I know it's a labor right at your party. But you see, don't discredit the people them and don't discredit and Jackson Miller to ask the questions them what we need to know. Because everybody in Jamaica say Andrew Holness and his team are rap Jamaica. The blind man can't see. July, what kind of bus them they then go buy for how much? $1 trillion? Billions of dollars? And then CM1 get Mexicans them to come to Jamaica, to come change out the door them from now for the right side to the left side. That makes sense? And then it put it on it now, billions of dollars. And them not worth it. Where the rest of the money them there? No, because them don't use the money to fund the campaign. When they use on the brain. At time now people use them brain. These people, you know what I'm talking about more things? You know what I'm talking about the hospital system? You know what I'm talking about the transportation system? Yo, I told Taya Andrew only owe me. Because one big patrol out of Boulevard there, so my car dropping out and bust me 2 tire them. 25,001. 25,001 and 50,000 Andrew only owe me. Because I rode them in a big thoroughfare road and they no fix. We not come out to run down politics and a different politician. People who not defend.
All I see going on in this country is crime.
When most say little young youth them want turn gunman. When most say young youth them a kill off them one another, brother. Bad man youth them a kill them one another like them can born back, bro. Now leave on the family. I cry a whole belly, bro. From a week, check how much people sick and dead. Believe, bro. I could have 10 or 5, but check how much gunshot kill. Brother, I could live with some love, brother. I could top kill off one another. I could top kill off with brothers them. I could top kill off with sisters them, bro, God. Because more while some unnecessary thing I go on, brother, we can talk over, bro. You see, we as Jamaican, brother, we not live with no love, bro. Brother, you see, if we not go wait upon the government and wait upon the police to save you, bro, that not go happen, dog. Remember, say, if you know the truth in this country, you know, either they lock you up or they get rid of you because you know the truth and you know the rights, bro. You feel like, say, every day them come and talk about crime done, bro. Not a crime not done, them a hide certain things, bro. The amount of people me see are dead, brother. How much people dead last night? How much people get shot up last night down at one place? Guess how much little youth involved in that? Bro, God, the youth them need to stop give themselves trouble, bro, God. Because me are telling you this, brother. We they run some people more while and we don't know what they might do a road, bro, God. We are look upon them as these innocent people and dead. People pull up to get gunshot and dead and we don't know what this man could do, we don't know what. Nowadays, brother, you can't know who do crime from who not do crime. Because when I notice most of them youth nowadays are badness youth them operate. Now that option there, bro, remember we can't burn back. Brother, too much of we as young youth are dead youth. You know not see, brother? Brother, crime are going from ancient days before me I even born. Why we as youth can't come and change it, bro? Guess why? Because we as people love too much negativity, bro, God. We could do some positive thing, dog. Get the youth. Put on in, man. Love crime and violence, man.
The corruption loud in Jamaica.
We have some corrupted people in the country. And the corruption starts from the top. If Jamaica did broke, you think, say, Chris Brown concerted us so well out, you think
Burn a boy concerted a look, sir. That mean money there. There's no unity. People them on the top just willing not to share with those who need help. And that's the problem. So that's where the corruption lies. It starts from the top. In the middle part there's corruption. So we expect the people them down at the lower part of Godo. Them are look feet because they want to rise. So that's why there's so much crime. Them now gonna stop it because here why you see the person who up here so them are hide. You can't see them. You understand? Them have the whole of the money. So you see the people them down here so them really are hurt because the person down here so them are hurt the people them in the middle. It now gonna reach the persons them at the top because they're much harder to get to. So I say until we start decide that let's unite together as one and help our brothers and our sisters in this country, it's not going to be a better Jamaica. And that me I make know. And that's just facts. You understand? Me I do my best as one of them individuals to help my brothers and sisters. If each and every person in Jamaica would do such, this place will be a better place. Like cleaning up our rivers, cleaning up our beaches, stop throw things out on the streets. You understand? Dirty up the country. There's so many corruption here. There's so many things that I see on a daily basis while I'm traveling on the roads of Jamaica. And the corruption of even the police officers themselves. Because we don't know the corrupted. I'm not saying all of y'all are corrupted, but the top and some of the individuals know themselves who are corrupted in our security force, corruption. The corruption is on so many different levels. As soon as corruption stops, we will have a better Jamaica, and I can guarantee that.
Jamaicans should remember this, that the estimate we have of the level of corruption in Jamaica is about 5 to 7% of GDP. We're talking about $100 billion on an annual basis.
So that sounds like inefficiencies then, because should we not say that the parliamentary committees, the committees that are there, they are inefficient in carrying out the duties that are supposed to be or should have been assigned to them?
They lack the teeth because of the dominance of the executive and the arrangement we have
Integrity
in
Commission and such?
That's what we need to do. We have some of the biggest scammers in Jamaica, in the government. Not talk about white collar crime, because they're in there. And some of them scam more than the local scammers that's on the street making calls and trying to get people's money. We can't put the facts to God in house. If the government is corrupt, how can they guard the scammers when they're scammers themselves? It's not going to work. And that's why it's so prevalent in Jamaica. We need to fix that. You're driving on the street, the cop stops you. Right or left? What is that? Oh, you gotta write me a ticket or I have to leave something. Some of the cars that's because they're not being paid. They're not being paid. The government has no money to pay civil servants. But yet, them can find money in the budget to pay over 300% to themselves,
Well, if you've watched to this end, thank you once again, and let's get down to it. For most Jamaicans, when you talk about corruption, I'm sure the first thing that comes into their mind is the Jamaica Constabulary Forces, that is the Jamaican Police Force, and the Jamaican politicians. As we all know, these are some of the two most corrupt bodies in Jamaica, and Jamaicans are actually coming out to call out these organizations that have troubled them for quite some time now. And for beginners, you need to understand that Jamaica usually has two major political parties, that is the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, and these two parties always compete on who comes into power. And in their manifestos or in their manifesto campaigns, one of their major campaigning manifestos is killing corruption in the country. As we all know, corruption in Jamaica is a very complex issue that we cannot say that it is rampant. It is something that has been there for decades, and it has become part of the culture, or something that is rather acceptable to most Jamaicans, as it has been continuously experienced by the Jamaican people to a point that it's becoming acceptable, despite of the devastating effects that it's having on the Jamaican people. And in today's episode, as you've seen in the videos, I'm going to cover some of the major corruption issues and the impact that it's having on the Jamaican people, and some of the top-notch cases that have been exposed, that is in Jamaica, and how the Jamaican government is actually trying to fight this corruption. Well, when I talk about the Jamaican government trying to fight corruption, this actually comes out as a contradiction. As for the average Jamaica, there's a direct correlation between corruption and the government. And having the government investigate itself about corruption is something that is quite unachievable. And yes, there are some reasons to it. A good example is how the two major political parties in Jamaica have been operating for quite some time now. And you have noticed that since each political party got into power, there have been cases of corruptions that have been reported or that have made major headlines in the Jamaican news category, with the current government, that is the Jamaican Labour Party, led by Andrew Holness, being one of the governments that has been hit by major cases of corruption and fraud, to a point that approximately 70% of Jamaicans don't have trust in Andrew Holness government right now. This again can be showed by the number of Jamaicans who come out to elect these leaders during the time of elections, as most of them feel that both political parties, that is the PNP and the JLP, are corrupt in all forms, and coming out to elect either of them is unhelpful to them, because corruption will still go on and they will still experience the negative impacts that corruption is having on the Jamaican people. And for the JLP, we are seeing that Andrew Holness managed to secure his third term, that is in after elections last year in 2025, and approximately 37% of Jamaicans came out to vote, which goes to show how voter apathy is becoming a major issue in Jamaica, as more and more Jamaicans are losing trust with the current systems in the government. And even despite of coming back into power, there have been major corruption cases that have been linked with the JLP leader Andrew Holness, with the major one being his inability to openly declare his statutory wealth to the Jamaican people and open his files to the Integrity Commission, which coincidentally is a body made by the Jamaican government to investigate all the corruption cases, and in the hope of that get to finally arrest the corrupt leaders, hence managing to control corruption in the country. However, the Integrity Commission is not working exactly as it was designed, as we are seeing that some of the top-notch cases, corruption cases that have been linked to most popular corrupt politicians, have ended up being unsolved or being thrown out, with little to no investigations being carried out, showing how the commission is not actually working, or let's say it is working as it was designed by the government who put it into power. As you all know how corrupt the Jamaican government has been, despite of all the parties that have been in power all this while. And so for Andrew Holness' case, there was questionable remarks about the source of his wealth and how he got to accumulate such amount of wealth in such a short period of time. This led to massive lawsuits, as most Jamaicans wanted these questions to be answered directly, and we can get to see that the Integrity Commission finally managed to close the case without giving substantive conclusion about the case related to Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And this is just one of the cases that he has been implicated, with the most recent one being how he used the donation funds given to his government after Hurricane Melissa had hit the country, with some Jamaicans coming out to question how he actually spent this recovery money, as the impact is not being felt by most Jamaican people. And so we get to understand that the overall effect of corruption in Jamaica is quite felt by everyone, with the current statistics showing that about 5% of Jamaica's annual GDP is lost to corruption every year. This translates to about 100 billion Jamaican dollars, showing how budgeted corruption is in Jamaica, with this amount of money fluctuating every year, that is ranging between 5 to 7%, with the major culprits being government officials, that is politicians, and the Jamaican constabulary forces. And so the impacts are again being directly felt by the average Jamaican individual, as you get to see this amount of money can be used to repair roads, build schools, or even build hospitals for the Jamaican people. However, we're getting to see that it's only a few number of individuals who are actually gaining this money for themselves and their families, and instead of building the Jamaican economy, they're using this money to go to other countries to build the economy, hence leaving the Jamaican people struggling with poverty. And another impact of budgeted corruption is the fact that most Jamaicans who are actually qualified or have graduated with better academic performance always choose to work out of Jamaica, as they believe that the corruption cases in Jamaica wouldn't allow them to get jobs. And so there's this massive brain drain that is currently happening in Jamaica, with one of the most brilliant brains in Jamaica choosing to go and work in other countries. That is because of the built-in notion that one needs to be connected to someone prominent in order for him or her to get a job in Jamaica. And so these are just some of the major impacts that corruption is having to Jamaica. But hopefully there is a wave of change that is happening in the country, with more and more Jamaicans coming out to call out the corruption cases and asking for change, in which with due time will actually come to happen in the country. Well, this again marks the end of this episode. Thank you for watching to this point, and kindly don't forget to hit the like, subscribe and the share button, and see you in the next one.